Hey, how's it going? In this video, I'm going to be talking about propaganda and what propaganda is. Propaganda refers to information, idea, or messages that are deliberately spread to influence and manipulate people's opinions, beliefs, and actions. It often involves dissemination of bias or misleading information to promote a particular political, social, or ideological agenda. Actually, I don't know what that is. A lot of people are saying that for some reason. Usually, I might find myself saying that as well, for which I find it funny when I think about it. Well, then it's very blatant, I guess, when people are trying to push any particular agenda towards the large groups of people. There would be posters, or what the case might be, and if anything, if there would be better way to come about it, so to put up a poster might take time and might be expensive. So just perhaps to understand what's good and what's bad, if anything, education might be one way to fight propaganda, I guess. Let's take a look at different variation forms and what they can include. Political propaganda. This type of propaganda is often used by governments, political parties, or interest groups to sway political opinions, support policies, or demonize opponents. It can involve the use of slogans, posters, speeches, and media campaigns. I don't know if you ever find yourself watching some of the people out there. Perhaps free speech, that's one way to look at it, and how everyone should have a platform, as well as how other people might be censored based on what they have to say. So I guess that's a line there. War propaganda. During times of conflict, governments may employ propaganda to maintain morale at home, demonize the enemy, and promote national unity. This can involve both domestic and international propaganda efforts. I don't know if that ever happened before. If that happened before, historically speaking, that might happen again. Religious propaganda. Religious organizations may use propaganda to recruit new members, promote their faith, or discredit other belief systems. Advertising and marketing. If anything, I myself I rather stick to business. I'm not entirely sure about all this information that I'm finding up here and who written this information. But I'm just reading this information. I'm just reading, and I would rather stick to business, right? Advertising and marketing. Commercial enterprises often use propaganda techniques in advertising to pressure consumers to buy products or services. This can include the use of emotional appeals, celebrity endorsements, and deceptive advertising. So hopefully all the people out there who are looking to promote their products or services, they would adhere to common rules and do not go over those rules. I don't know, just something perhaps worth mentioning. Social and ideological propaganda. Various groups, including extremist organizations, may use propaganda to eradicate individuals or promote specific ideologies up there. Social media has become common platform for such propaganda efforts. If anything, I would. I'm not taking any stance. I'm not taking any stance. Perhaps more freedom on social media, that would be a great idea instead of shadow banning people. It's not something that I'm looking for myself as well. It just, I guess, it's just more information. People perhaps should improve their overall understanding and think for themselves. I guess, if anything, I'm a big proponent of being and working and communicating with people who can think for themselves and make those decisions. Educational propaganda. In some cases, educational materials and curriculums can be used to promote particular worldview and agenda. This can be seen as authoritative regimes where state control education promotes government ideologies. If anything, all education should be a lot cheaper. I don't know how and why people are going in depth for so much in some cases. Then especially then they would later try to find a job and everything. Any takeaways from this video? How expensive education should be and how expensive education is right now. With all the platforms out there, all the materials out there, for to build it up might be very expensive, right? To start a university, operate over the years, as well as perhaps constantly looking for best people to operate at the university. That part can be expensive, right? But to have perhaps with the current technology, we should be able to scale education a lot faster and a lot better compared to current systems. It's important to note that propaganda is not limited to false information. It can also involve the selective presentation of facts, emotional manipulation, and use of persuasive techniques to shape public perception. If anything, I would like to raise more awareness towards this subject and why why people would do particular things and what is their perhaps unconscious bias, right? Recognizing and critically evaluating propaganda is essential for media literacy and informed decision making. I thought about what kind of angle I can take on this particular topic. I thought why not to take angle and try to understand why propaganda can be important. And some of the reasons that I managed to find that would be influence and persuasive. Propaganda is a powerful tool for influence persuasive people. It can shape public's opinion, encourage support for a particular cause, or even lead individuals to change their beliefs and behavior. This can be crucial for political leaders, governments, advocate groups, and business to achieve their goals. Mobilization and unity. During times of crisis or war, propaganda can be used to rally a nation or groups of people. It can foster sense of unity, patriotism, and shape purpose, which can be important for maintaining social cohesiveness and motivation. Education and information dissemination. Dissemination. Propaganda is not inherently negative. It can be used to dismantle important information such as public health campaigns, disaster preparedness, or awareness about social issues. When used ethically, it can educate and inform public. So perhaps it's tolerance of some organizations that are out there and perhaps support that we do have for those organizations. So if that organization needs support from the people, right, or it doesn't need, if it's private organization or government organization that would receive public funds either way. So then if that organization doesn't really need, if we follow the money, right? If we were to follow the money and that organization perhaps is sponsored by government, perhaps government has a particular narrative that wanna push into, not necessarily that organization need any funding or support from the public. It's just there, that information is there. If anything, I'm trying to look at certain situations from a different angle and understand what who is pushing what kind of information. And trying to understand where the funding is coming from to push that information if it's coming from my own money. So why I'm paying for someone to push that particular information onto me. So that's what I'm trying to understand, and if I can eliminate that. Quick story, about some time ago, right? This is I was looking at different contracts. Some of those contracts were for newspapers, right? Depending of what sector you are in, you potentially can get government contracts where government will pay you to publish any particular information. In this particular contract, they were looking for newspapers, so it's based on the newspapers. But it just give you an example how taxpayers' money can fund any particular agenda, right? So, depending of what, not all of them are bad, not all of them are good, and there is just agendas there, and some of people would like to push that agenda, which is great, I guess. Newspapers, who even read newspapers in the first place? That's a question that I might have, as well as perhaps there's opportunities out there to perhaps start a newspaper and then try to push particular agenda from taxpayers' money onto me. That's what I'm saying. There's plenty business leaders up there. There's a lot of interest in pushing particular agendas. Create create a narrative. Propaganda can help create narrative or a story around particular issue, event, or ideology. This narrative can shape how people perceive and understand the world around them, providing them with a framework for making sense of complex issues. Again, that's about telling a story, I guess. Something that myself I need to do a little bit more work on than telling stories and sharing those stories with people out there who are interested in listening to stories instead of perhaps focusing on hard data and facts. Let's tell a story. That's what people are looking for. I need to work on that. That's the only way to do it, I guess. Everyone's doing it, right? Either way. Promotion of values and beliefs for religious and ideological groups. Propaganda can serve as a means of promoting their values and beliefs, which they may see as essential for the betterment of society or the salvation of souls. I don't even know what that means. What kind of beliefs are we pushing then? Yes. I don't know. I'm not supporting any of those groups. Or as long as not my money involved in pushing any of those agendas in the first place. Cultural and societal influence. Propaganda can have profound impact on the culture and social norms of society. It can shape the way people think about gender roles, race, nationality, and other social constructs. Again, if there's anything, I personally believe I have mentioned that in my book already. For those who haven't read it or seen that in kind of way of thinking, that perhaps three different ways how you can impact certain decisions, right? You can vote, potentially casting your vote on the ballot, perhaps with your feet, what country you are currently based and what country you perhaps you seeing yourself operating in the future, as well as with your money. Perhaps there's three different ways how you can vote for particular activities or what kind of activities you would like to support, right? So if anything, any takeaways from overall this video, right? So if I'm not supporting any of those, I don't know, newspapers, radio stations, I don't know, channels or people who spreading any bad words, they have perhaps right to do that. I'm not there to trying to stop them, but I'm not looking to support them. And I wish my money or tax money or anything like that, i.e. my if we were casting a vote with our money, I'm not looking. At least I'm not interested in supporting any of those agendas to be pushed back onto me, right? Psychological warfare in military context, psychological operations use propaganda to demoralize the enemy, disrupt their communications, and influence their decision making. It can be a key component of warfare. Yeah, it's overall control, right? And control comes in different forms. One of those control forms can be information, not necessarily limited to warfare, but overall psychological warfare and information, who controls information. For people out there who are interested in learning more, I have published a journal. In this journal, I'm sharing a lot of information about where to begin, how to structure your day, how to make most of your time. I personally believe it's one of those areas that everyone should focus on. Well, this is the same as perhaps myself. I find so many times thinking about the ways how and where I should begin. So after I spend so much time thinking about the best way of doing things, I spent so many days thinking about it. I came up with this tool. It's some of those tools that I was looking at myself, as well as perhaps sharing those same tools with others. Only difference, I have improved those tools. So within 24 hours, I have identified particular areas which I personally believe are important, and some of the focus that you should perhaps take, and defining those areas. That would be perhaps dictionary, understanding finance, as well as particular areas. There's a number of different areas I have highlighted in this journal. For anyone who are interested, you can find it in the description below, as well as my company's website. Despite these areas that I have mentioned, propaganda can also be dangerous and unethical. It depends how you like to frame it again. When it involves manipulation, deception, and dissemination of false and misleading information. But sometimes people working with not necessarily having all information, but anything, again, who is supporting what? If anything, I will like to put my own angle on this. That would be if I think some of those organizations not performing up to a standard. Don't want to support those organizations. If any takeaways from this video, everyone, all the people should have a say in what's happening, if anything, myself included. Don't ban me, I guess. Everyone should have a say. Just perhaps after they have a say, who wants to support who. And if anything, I don't want my money supporting some of those organizations there. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.